Hey guys, William here, aka Big Bastard, and as promised, I am reviewing the Star Wars materials that I received for Christmas. A lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm not really going to go into extended detail on all of it because most of it is self explanatory, but some of the more novel stuff I will take a little more time on. So, first of all, this is kind of cute. It's a little ornament type puzzle, and you can see it's a puzzle of Finn and Rey when they were. Oh, be nice if I get right side up. Finn and Rey when they're escaping, uh, fleeing TIE fighters from the First Order on Jakku. I got a little calendar here, 16-month calendar. Really nice one with a lot of Force Awakens material. And that's actually going to help me with college and stuff because I am horrible at scheduling and I need something to help with that. This this I'm kind of mixed on. This is a Star Wars dice game, and rather than actually trying to do a lot of the different stuff that I don't know if it's Upper Deck or who has done with the starter packs and stuff like that, the more fancy oriented dice games and dice games along the lines of X-Men and uh, DC and that. This one just went straight up labeling faces and trying to pretend they were some version of Yahtzee, which it would have just made more sense to include standard Yahtzee rules. Here you can see that it's pretty much a game of how many faces you get, and each time you get X amount of faces is worth so many points. It's pretty much, other than Yoda and Vader, you end up rolling 3 faces of each, and that's pretty much what you're supposed to score on. Personally, when I go to play this, and I will be, I'm going to modify it so that it's just basically Yahtzee. It's not hard to do because, granted, there's no numbers, but obviously each different face is its own number. So I am sure there's enough faces to be, from what I've seen, to be able to do even a large straight. Oh, yeah. You can do a large straight or three of a kind, four of a kind, that kind of stuff. So that's probably what I'm going to do when I utilize that. Another puzzle. Nice one. Collector's Tin. Darth Vader. Yep. Pack of Star Wars playing cards. Whip that out. Your next Texas Hold'em game. All in on the Force. Somebody's going to steal that. Put it on a t-shirt. And I'll lose money. Just remember, you heard it here first. This is pretty cool. It's a Star Wars Force Awakens art kit, and you can see there's markers and stickers. Well, see if I can get that closer so you can actually see. There's markers, stickers, stampers, tattoos, sharpeners, erasers, pencils. Pretty nice art kit. Star Wars trivia game. This is pretty cool. They got like a ton of questions, 650 plus. I found out when I played this against my sister that I really suck at anything dealing with the first trilogy. And by the first trilogy, I mean episodes 1, 2, and 3, as opposed to anything that is traditionally Star Wars, the original 3, 4, episodes 3, 4, and 5. Which, if I draw those, I can generally kick just about anyone's ass. I'm not like a real hardcore when it comes to Star Wars knowledge, but definitely hardcore enough that I can keep up with many of the experts. So my sister took a chance. She's kind of a novice in the Star Wars universe. She's gotten into the Force Awakens really big, and she decided to take a chance, play it against me, and she actually kept up pretty good because of the questions that I would miss on Phantom Menace, which we seem to end up drawing a lot of them in episodes 2 and 3. One interesting thing about this is they have timeline. You basically, the gist is you roll a dice, and if you get Yoda, you end up drawing a trivia card, and if you get Vader, you end up drawing a timeline card. And the timeline, all you got to do is put the movies, snapshots from the movies in their proper order. Me and my sister both ace those. So it's actually good at giving, it is a nice game factor because it gives a person who may not be as diehard at Star Wars knowledge and minutia a fact to actually catch up, because my sister actually did a lot of keeping me at bay with those, because I would keep rolling. Basically, the person who is whose turn it is, the other person rolls the dice, which determines what happens. And I ended up rolling a lot of timelines for her. Not trying to, it's just the way it was. And she rolled a lot of trivia for me, so it ended up actually balancing out. And she actually almost kicked my butt at it. So that's pretty cool because you can get novices and experts alike together, and they have almost an equal chance of actually surviving the game, if not outright winning. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, here's some a part of the Hot Wheels, Star Wars Hot Wheels set. They have really made a shit ton of these. I'm actually surprised at how much they made. That's the Kylo Ren. That's the only one I have from that set. Now, here's some old school, and this is really cool, classic vehicles. Uh, you can see even with the carding, that's meant to resemble kind of that old school feel, particularly with the way it's toned in that. There's 6 in that collection. I've only got 2, ironically, Han and Princess Leia here. And it's really funny because other than that, I have a complete collection. So the only outstanding ones are the only ones that really stick out like a sore thumb in my collection because they're not complete. Ended up being husband, wife, and son, which I think is ironic. And hopefully, I'm not spoiling anything if you haven't gotten the news by now, and I'm sure everyone has, because it's even people I've talked to who haven't seen it express casual interest in know quite a bit about the plotline by now. Okay, here's the main set that was given to me. This is one of 8 Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Order. Pretty cool. And I'm actually going to go in order from there. And I'm not sure, but I'm thinking they're actually building up through the series chronologically. Sith. And you got Maul, Dooku, and Palpatine. Galactic Republic. You have an Imperial clone trooper there. Not to be confused with the stormtroopers that would later replace him. I'm not sure which is smarter. I give the edge to the clones every now and then. Grievous, Separatists. So clearly we're going through Phantom Menace there. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the Phantom Menace part of it. Now we're getting into episodes 3, 4, and 5. This is really cool. Tatooine, you think dune buggies and that. That was a nice marketing move by Mattel, because it just resonates with Luke Skywalker, that particular vehicle. And next we have Daddy, Darth Vader, a little bit sleeker, a little bit more menacing. The only thing that's wrong about it is lower profile, because we know how low profile Vader is. So there was the Rebel Alliance for Luke, Galactic Empire for Vader. We have a Poe Dameron. Yes, I've actually gotten their names straight now. Poe Dameron car for the Resistance. And you see Rey and Finn in the background. That's one thing I want to fix in the clarified review, is actually getting the new characters' names right for a change. I've seen it about 6 times by now, so if I can't do it by now, I'm screwed. First Order, you see Kylo Ren. Sleek, nice car. I don't know if it can outrace Vader, but we'll see. Star Wars Monopoly. This kind of confused me. They only have 4 tokens, and it is a circular board. I'm trying to figure that one out. This one, however, is not getting opened, and I'll tell you why. Because on a side note here, and I'm actually going to leave showing products right now to tell a little story right quick. There was a young girl. She's the daughter of a gal who critiques the toys, games, movies in regards to women. And you probably heard this story, but in regards to uh, women's rights and how women are shown and displayed. Well, her little daughter, who's a Star Wars fan, 8 years old, she no, she got, I guess she got a Monopoly game, and she was upset that Rey was not in it. And she wrote a letter to Hasbro, and I've actually got the letter up on screen here, not your, not where you guys can see it. I'm just going to read it right quick. Dear Hasbro, how could you leave out Rey? Exclamation question mark. She belongs in Star Wars Monopoly and all the other Star Wars games. Without her, there is no Force Awakens. It awakens in her. And without her, the bad guys would have won. Besides, boys and girls need to see women can be strong as men. Girls matter, boy or girl, who cares? We are equal, all of us. Sincerely, Annie Rose, age 8. So kind of a cute story, but it might give you an idea of why I'm actually leaving that thing, which obviously doesn't have a Rey yet, intact, because you know that once something like this comes out, you know that the scalpers on Amazon and eBay are going to jump on it. They're going to drive up scarcity. They're going to turn around, load the things up for hundreds of dollars, and all you got to do is be the cheapest of those hundreds of dollars if you decide to sell it, which I probably won't. I mean, there's no point in it. You might as well keep a collector for the reason you got it, and that's to collect. Normally, though, I would actually have busted it open and played with it. But once I heard that, I'm like, hell no, keep it in the box. Now this, moving on, is one of the crowning graces of cool stuff that I got. Star Wars mug set with a cover from every single movie that's been released up to Force Awakens. And it comes with Coco's. And I mean, you can see the quality of the artwork on there. Unfortunately, you're getting a lot of glare. But you can see the quality of the artwork. And those are just gorgeous cups. Gorgeous. The box is a little beaten up, though, which I might use the excuse to actually use the items in it. We'll see. Because unfortunately, I'm one of those collectors that I like to use what I'm getting. I like to enjoy the product. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but obviously you want to If you know something's going to go up in value, you want to keep it contained in as mint a condition as possible. Now, a couple things I did get for myself: Star Wars: The Essential Guide to Warfare. This is really nice. And I haven't gotten around to reading all of it yet. Fact is, I've only gotten around to reading the prologue. And in the prologue, Grand Admiral Oswald Teshik is being put up for trial by the Republic for war crimes committed against humanity. This is after the fall of the Empire, and he's going to be executed. And he tells a story about how he disappointed the Emperor, and the Emperor wanted him executed, and he sent him on a suicide mission. Well, he ended up being the only survivor. Now, um, from the context of the information presented and the fact that he was there after the fall of the Empire, we can see that this is not the same. And I'm not sure. I mean, his name's Oswald. I'm not sure if the guy in Empire was Oswald or Oswald, but we can, or if that was his first or last name, because Vader does address him as Commander Oswald. But we can assume this is definitely not that gentleman. Excuse me. And he pretty much stated that during the time that he was dying during that first mission, he had a vision, and he literally told his those who had captured him that none of it matters, because in his vision he seen pretty much that everything was going to burn. And this is not as eloquent as he actually speaks it, but giving you the gist of it, it is a really tremendous story. They do a nice job of building up the reality of the world, and you're going to see that there is tons of gorgeous artwork. Yeah. Once I actually learned how to get it up there right. And what the book says is basically, as far as I understand it, this is all original artwork for this book. And you can see that there is a lot of beautiful artwork. And a lot of it seems to be done in the Ralph McQuarrie vein. A lot of artists here paying tribute, as far as I can tell, to not all of them, but a lot of them, as far as I can tell, to Ralph McQuarrie. Just that sort of structure and style. Beautiful book. Now, the coup de grace, and it was kind of funny because I took this, I was going to try to read it on the road, very carefully, on the road to Salt Lake, and my speech and debate team are all like me. They're friggin' geeks. And you should have seen their eyes when I pulled out this little beaut. This cost me $13, and that's not including shipping. It is an original issue of Starlog from 1977, talking about the then upcoming new movie, Star Wars. And one of my colleagues asked me, he's like, "That's a replica, right?" And I'm like, "No, this is not a replica. Straight up, some guy selling from his personal collection." And it cost me 16 some after all was said and done with shipping and handling. And just awesome, awesome. And I mean, a lot of people could be like, "Oh, you got screwed. It is a replica, and the guy didn't tell you." But man, when I opened that up, and that smell hit me of the, you know, not necessarily aged pages in the bad sense that we tend to think of it, yellowed and curling, but there's that kind of certain odor that accompanies a product that was issued so long ago. And you guys know what I'm talking about, especially those of you that love to read. When you get an old book, really old book, or really old magazine from, decades gone by, there's that certain odor, and that was there, and it just, oh God, man, awesome. And I didn't even realize Starlog was around this long. And they have a lot of interesting articles in there besides the one on Star Wars. They talk about Robbie the Robot, Rocket Ship XM, Air and Space Museum, Kelly Freya's art, NASA Space Shuttle, David Gerald Goes Ape, and Star Trek Report. They were definitely more focused on Star Trek at that time, clearly because there was no Star Wars to compete with them. But I hadn't realized that Starlog, and the title should have tipped it off, Starlog's primary focus when it came out was Star Trek, because uh, they even titled their editorial "Letters from the Bridge," kind of a nod to Star Trek. That could be argued, but so that's pretty much all the Star Wars bling I got. Got some hats. Got a couple here I can show you offhand. These I bought for myself just because. I mean, come on, really? $5 a piece? Seriously? And bonus for me, I actually like the damn flat bills. This was how we grew up with hats, not this. Although I'm getting used to these, as you can see. These are a little more sleek, and I don't know. I want to say contoured for aerodynamic efficiency. But yeah, so that's all the bling I got Star Wars related. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. Hope you enjoyed the few things that I actually did get a little more detailed on. And if you like, share and subscribe. And this is Big Bastard signing out. I'll see you guys next video.